Hello everybody, Doomerang3 here today, and welcome to the audio commentary to Sonic the Hedgehog issues number 268 and 269, Champions, parts 1 and 2. And it's just me, as usual. Anyway, I'm gonna give you guys a rundown and give you maybe some fun facts about the making of this comic dub. Like, originally this was supposed to be made back since 2015, but I was busy with other projects and stuff. You know, taking priority like Scourge Lockdown parts 3 and 4, and Ways of Change parts 3 and 4, and the Great Chaos Caper comic dub also took priority. Yeah, that's me making this, showing a little bit of showmanship by adding in Scourge to talk about my Patreon sponsorship. You know, that was like a last minute addition I thought of. Scourge approved.
Please support Doomerang3 on Patreon to help him make more videos and content for you guys. Anyway, Scourge is out. All hail the king, baby.
Yeah, that's basically what I do.
Yeah, that's basically what I do all the time. Yeah.
And that's Cobra Bomb as the narrator. Like, he has such a good narrator voice, just such warmth, such, you know, life to it. Okay, I decided not to show visuals for this time like I did with Ways of Change parts 1 and 2, because I decided, like, if you want to be caught up more, I'll say go watch that video. Link in the description box below. And I decided, like, I think the text explains enough to keep newcomers up to date enough so you can still enjoy it. And that's Nathan Mudson as the voice of Classic Sonic. He also did the voice of Modern Sonic. Like, for his Classic Sonic voice, he's trying to imitate Martin Burke's Sonic from the Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie OVA. And I say he does a pretty damn good imitation of Martin Burke's Sonic's voice, or the OVA Sonic's voice. And that's James the Brony, or James Games, as Coconuts. I mean, like, he had the best audition on castingcall.club, and that's why I casted him as Coconuts. And I thought it'd be funny to add a realistic explosion when he was like, Gah! And then it's like,
It's like I'm living a bad comedy.
That was probably the writer Ian Flynn's little stab or jab at the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog with the cheesy jokes and comedy. And that's my older brother RB Comics as the voice of Scratch. He does that. Apparently he did a well-done comic dub on the popular comic called I Hate Fairyland. You guys should check that out. Also, links in the description box below if you want to check that out. I kind of like the effect I did when Sonic knocked him out. He's like, hold it, Hedgehog, one more step and we'll... And if you listen faintly and carefully in the background from your left headphones, you can hear Scratch and groaning and whimpering in pain. And Scratch made this funny sound when he was clucking and whimpering in pain. You probably might hear it more when I release the blooper reel.
Present day. And that's how I know the lovely Madame Breezy.
And back to Modern Sonic. And that's Rarity Fangirl 31 VA as the voice of Tails. She is like so great as Tails. I honestly think she had more funnier and better line deliveries as Tails, and actually, you know, I first got her on board to play Tails back in Ways of Change parts 1 and 2, the original version. And, you know, I gave her another shot, and I'm thinking about keeping her around for just like I'm keeping Nathan Mudson around. Because I actually like Nathan Mudson's take on Sonic, and you know, and I like all my other casts. Like, I brought many of my fan favorite casts from previous comic dubs. You know, Nathan Mudson, Rarity Fangirl 31 VA, Donegal 12, Laura Blue right here as Princess Sally Acorn, Wolfblade 93 as the voice of Rotor, and Shadow for One as Bunny Rabbit, and Anthony as the voice of Antoine. And Ashikins as the voice of Nicole. Ashikins did some funny improv that I told her to do, which she totally nailed a more sassier side to Nicole, which I think fits her some of Nicole's expressions in the background pretty well. You know, showing a more playful and sassier side to her. I like Nathan Munson when he improvised that. I do enjoy the director. Type of look face. And this is another improv line when Antoine said, well, she does have a point that Anthony improv as Antoine. Originally, I was going to not use that line. I was going to cut it out because I thought it was unnecessary. But I see, well, Antoine's in the panel. Might as well make him throw some 2 cents in the matter. So I didn't think it disrupt the flow that much. I mean, it was just a quick little line. Like, originally the line was supposed to go like Amy saying, like, we can't do that when she's not like Eggman. It's like, we'll be stealing from her. Again, saving the world. But instead it's like, we'll be stealing from her. Well, she does have a point. Again, saving the world. Type of voice.
Pragmatic.
And, Wolfblade also improvised that rotor line when he saying like, oh, you had to bring that up, didn't you?
Breezy advertises event everywhere. We made
I kind of like sighs like, Daddy is pragmatic.
stopping Dr. Eggman from invading Casino Park.
Jumps cut to Breezy. I love Eggman's facial expression right here. It's just priceless. He looks like he's royally pissed off, and he slams on his desk and looks like a psychotic maniac. If you listen carefully in the background, especially from the left earbuds, you can hear Eggman muttering and murmuring and stuttering in the background over the phone. I did the voice of Eggman's muttering and stuttering. It's basically like that. You can faintly hear it in the background. I just thought it'd be a funnier touch to add that. You can faintly hear Eggman's muttering on the phone, like he's ranting longer and longer and longer. I didn't think my voice actor for Dr. Eggman, Ricky Wright, he also did the voice of Elder Gregorius of the Gaia Temples, and he actually just. I think that it'd be fun. I think he didn't have time to do that, so I decided to, jump in and did that little ad lib part, and just because it was just very faint. It was gonna sound very faint in the background anyway of Eggman going, and oh my god. Wubcake is just so good and spot on as Breezy. She got that fire in her voice, that sassiness and sexiness to the voice that fits her. Then again, in the original Adventure Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, Breezy was meant to be this Jessica Rabbit knockoff clone, where she's supposed to be this sexy femme fatale type hedgehog to get Sonic to swoon over her so she can use him to get information out of him and try to kill him. Which she also does here, where she basically flirts up to Sonic and try to seduce him and set him up to a trap to get killed by that Sonic robot from the 8-bit Sonic 2, I think. And it also appeared in Sonic Mania for the Metal Sonic boss fight during Stardust Speedway Act 2. So she set up Sonic for a trap, which will show up later on in this video when we get to the Part 2 section of it. And I kind of like how I edited Part 1 and 2 of the comic into one whole seamless part, like watching an episode of a TV show, because just one comic is like about 12 to 15 minutes in terms of length. So I think Part 1 was about 17 or 18 minutes, while Part 2 was more like 14 minutes, I think. Oh yeah, I told Hyper Voice I could improvise that line where he's like, it's the Doc Block, put it on speaker. I thought it'd be funnier if Knack basically sounds annoyed as hell, like he's great, this asshole again. I think it was part of the reason due to his improv line where he said, thanks for the vote of confidence, jerkwad. I just like how he just said it under his breath, like, jerkwad. Because if you remember, if you read it, in the last issue, Knack basically begrudgingly agrees to join Breezy's little fighting tournament. But apparently, Eggman basically forced his hands in it, and it shows that Knack has some sort of resentment towards Eggman, but showing that he's not above making some snide or smart-ass remarks towards him. So, to the point he'll just cough under his breath, like, thanks for the vote of confidence, jerkwad. But okay, we can do that. Yeah, I love Eggman's line, like, I hate dealing with people. Give me a good robot any day. And that's me as the voice of Metal Sonic. Basically, my voice when he said, "Tell me what you know," is like, "Tell me what you know." Or his upcoming line saying, like, "I have found a target of interest. I have found a target of interest concerning the Gaia temples. I am." That's basically my Metal Sonic voice line without the voice filter effect.
It sounds kind of nerdy and geeky sounding.
I believe Hyper Voice had added the cough, because originally there was no cough when Metal Sonic took off. Almost like he was sucking his thumb, but he's really coughing. I added that when the whole Casino Park Zone, Empire City.
I just built it.
I like how Rarity Fangirl delivered that line like that. "Not one scratch! I just built
Like
it!"
you're doing well for yourself.
Like, got annoyed that he said. Got annoyed, like, I think that's the same car from Sonic and Sega All-Stars Racing Transform as like a little Easter egg nod, and I guess they're implying that Tails built it. Showing that Sonic doesn't hold grudges, and I guess he got over Breezy's betrayal. And I kinda like you can faintly hear Amy in the background saying like, "Well, I don't trust her." And Rarity Fangirl 31 VA, Donigo 12, and Nathan Mudson all improvise a line for this panel right here. Like, you know, she's like, "We gotta watch our backs around here." And then Amy's like, "Bring it on!" It's like, wait, this reminds me so much of Casinopolis. I thought those improvs actually fit the scene funny. Like, yeah, I guess some might say it's an unnecessary ad-lib. It comes off cheesy or hokey, but like, since when Sonic the Hedgehog have not been cheesy or hokey, so having a cheesy little lines like those actually fits with the theme of Sonic the Hedgehog.
One rule of my own. You
I mean, even Adventure 2 has its cheesy moments.
You don't make the rules.
I like Webking Toys.
I guess I'm out then.
And Sonic basically playing psychology on her by playing her at her own game of persuading people. Like, you know, that she can't turn down the ratings.
Try to beat the house
Saying like, "Well, I guess I'm out then. I know these two will handle things without me later." It's sort of like, I guess Sonic's trying to show Breezy, "Well, Breezy is my way or the highway." And I guess it is Sonic's way since Breezy reconsidered and not scheduled him at night, since Sonic is still transformed into the Werehog at night, which you'll see later on. I added the camera flashes effects. I believe it was Hyper Voice Acting who did the sound editing for the first half of the comic dub. Added the camera flashes because you can see camera flashes in the background. I did not. Well, then again, I didn't edit it, but I didn't thought of adding a camera flash until I just said like, you know what, it actually fits. And I thought I was gonna let the sound effect speak for itself, and then it's like, let's add some camera flash effects to really help sell the mood, help sell the presentation. I love Tails' expression right here, like, "Okay then," type of expression. Sonic's like, typical Amy type of look. Oh yeah, and that's, Gabrielle VA. She did the voice of the cute and adorable Honey the Cat, and I honestly think that she nailed it out of the ballpark too. She brought this genuine cuteness to her voice and not trying too hard to sound cute.
Really? You'd better believe it.
I believe her audio was very on the quiet level, so I had to boost up the audio just a little bit on her line so it can match up with the other VAs, you know, sound qualities on their mics. I mean, audio levels on their volume levels on their mics. Yeah, like I said, she brings such a genuine cuteness to her. And, you know,
if I win, I'll hand the gem over to you guys.
Really?
and I think she plays well off of Rarity Fangirl's lines. Especially by part 2 when Tails like, "What's the big idea? I thought you were helping us."
I only wear shoes.
Oh, I love this line. "I only wear shoes, socks, and gloves. You can't accessorize." And this little improvised line by Rarity Fangirl where she said, "Sonic, you might want to help me out here."
It's nice to have
I think that
someone
line
else
actually
beside
fits it better, so I actually add that in. And Nathan Pentascott as Bean the Duck. I think I'm pronouncing his last name Pentecost. I don't know. That was an improvised line from Hyper voice acting the voice of Knack. Not only he was the sound editor on the first half of Champions, he also did the voice of Knack the Weasel. He rather that. Oh, jeez, the blue boy again. And I added that panel fade in where Bean just pops out behind the slot machine, like. I thought that would be a funnier touch, since Bean is such a weirdo Mondo Bizarro cartoon character. And I love Knack's reaction, like, what? Oh yeah, and originally there was no squish sound where Knack just pressed his snout up against Bean's beak, and I decided it would be funnier if you hear a sound where he presses his beak up against that sound when he said, "Are you crazy?" And I did the voice of that geeky sounding robot saying,
What's going on around here? No brawling or roughhousing in Casino Park. Breezy's rules.
Maybe we could take one for bicycle.
and he said, "Thanks for my professional pride. We still have that?" Oh yeah, I also added this panel fade in where Espio appears. Originally, Espio was supposed to stand there, and he said,
Let's see here.
and I edited out that line, and I decided it'd be better for him to fade out like he is a ninja. And that's me as the voice of Vector over the phone. I improvised this line. When I say, "You better not be playing with those slot machines again, Espio, you're costing me money! My rent money!" And Espio's like, "Yeah, the slots are already..." Like, Espio couldn't resist the urge to play on those slot machines. I actually thought the improv made the scene a lot funnier. What I said in the bloopers will have you pissing your pants laughing, because... Like, you gotta see the blooper version of what I said as Vector, because it's actually funny. But I decided to go with that ad-lib when he's like, "You better not be playing with those slot machines again, Espio." Oh yeah, the original is like, "What? I sit you there in $5 in quarters," and that's it. I think the line was decently funny enough, but I think I could have pushed it funnier. And oh yeah, here's our second guest star, Chari 5 as Knuckles the enchilada, or Nipples the enchilada. I mean Knuckles the Encadilla. I mean Knuckles the echidna.
I don't get it.
Okay, more OVA Sonic voice. I don't get it.
Across the island. How does he know where
I
we
had
are?
the Sonic Adventure 2 mech sound where he lands on the ground. Oh god, Webcake and her sexy line deliveries.
And still, you made it this far.
She really sells the sassy bad girl
I'm not
type.
just doing this to kick some fat road butt.
Kick some
He's
fat
getting
road
that tail,
butt.
and I have to save him. You're putting a kid's life in danger.
Nathan Munson really put that urgency in that voice. Like, "I gotta save him! You're putting a kid's life in danger!" And it just shows how much of a cold, heartless bitch Breezy is.
I'll sleep indoors again. It's been fun, little boy. But now...
Okay, that finger snap sound effect. I made that sound effect. I put my fingers up to my Blue Yeti mic and snapped my fingers, and that's basically what it's the exact same snap sound effect I used for Scourge, where Scourge said, "Simeon, break their collars." Like, so yeah, the same snap sound effect that Scourge used, and Scourge Locked Up Part 4 was the same snap sound effect that Breezy used when he said, "It's been fun, little boy, but now it's over." And that's Sir Talks a Lot. Yeah, ironic name. That's the voice of the tournament announcer, Wes Weasley. He provides a line saying, like, "I don't believe it, folks. How on Mobius did he dodge that blow?" I think it'd be funny if you faintly hear him in the background. And I love the audio effects I did on that part where his voice, where Nathan Munson making a bunch of fighting grunts. You can hear it muffled out since Breezy's up there in her penthouse level, and the tournament's happening down there, and the window kind of filter out some of the noise down there so you can faintly hear it muffled down there, and you can even hear the tournament announcer muffled up. So I think my sound editing just got very thorough and detailed, because I think, like realistically, I've seen in movies where they were at a penthouse level, you can hear the sound on the other side or below the penthouse being muffled out. And I love Sonic's expression. He's like, "It's almost sunset." Oh, thanks for that. The werehog showing up.
That was close. I've got a handle on this whole transfer.
And I added a motion blur. A motion blur effect with Sonic said, "Thanks for that, Amy. Good luck, gotta go," to emphasize how fast his movement was. And that's Mr. Pasquale as the voice of the Werehog. And earlier, Nathan Pentecost, the voice of Bean the Duck, and Grounder also did the voice of Sega Sanshiro. When he said, "I have lost to this, Sonic the Hedgehog. I feel no shame in this." It's so racist and English. Oh, here's one of my favorite gags. Amy going ham and ape shit on this guy right here. I actually think it'd be funnier if you hear this you faintly hear this rock music in the background. So it's Smash cuts. Amy, it's like this calm, tranquil scene of SBO narrating in his thoughts, saying, and then it goes like, "Ah!" And if you faintly hear in the background, you can hear Marv scream from Home Alone. You know, when Kevin put the tarantula in his face. And you listen faint. Also faintly, you can hear the JonTron scream when JonTron goes, "Ah!" About the screaming is that bird opponent that Amy is fighting, and probably Amy is beating the stuffing out of him, and he's screaming in pain and agony. You can faintly hear it in the background, especially if he had earphones. It's like, dang, Amy is wrecking his shit, especially by the ending part when Esper was thinking this, you can faintly hear it. I would think Amy must have broke his leg and twisted into a knot. I did the voice of the snooty, snobbish, fancy lady. Like, honestly, they seem to let any riffraff in here these days. Yes, I like to sound fancy, but I high-pitch in the voice on Audacity to match how she sounds. She's so snooty. Originally, Laura Blue, also she did the voice of Sally Acorn early in this comic dub. She was going to voice the snobbish fancy lady, but apparently she had a busy schedule, and I couldn't afford to wait. I wanted to finish this. I know I prolonged this long enough, so compromises had to be made. So I had to step in and voice her. I mean, she managed to finish her Sally lines, which is like, okay, good, but I can't afford to wait, so this has to be done. And also, if you listen faintly in the background, you can hear Wes Weasley, the tournament announcer, announcing the next scene that's coming up. Like he said, "From the heart of Empire City, coming to your life in Casino Park," during Honey the Cat and Tails' match. You can faintly hear it in the background, like in TV audio quality. Like you can faintly hear him saying it on board the TV, and it's like and that's why I added that 2 minutes earlier, because you know I'm implying that the time gap that like when Chip said, "Oh neat, one of the tournament fighters has two tails," and we see Tails and Honey's fight about to begin, and I'm assuming that Wes Weasley is announcing the build up to it. Showing that scene with Knuckles a minute ago took place during the Honey and Tails fight before Knuckles' fight with Bark. And Scratch said, "You gotta get ready for your round in the tournament. You want the emerald or not?" And Knuckles had no idea that he was competing in this competition since SBO, rigged and hacked the roster himself and got him and Knuckles onto the roster. Okay, the reason why I blacked out the description boxes for Honey and Tails, like I didn't black out the descriptive boxes for Honey and Tails or any other characters from Part 1 because they introduced the characters nicely. And it's like, okay, what's the point of doing it again? So I blacked them out, especially that infamous scene, quotation marks, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, with Bark, when he has like a black bar where his crotch is at. And people suggestively think that I censored that, even though it was a description box that was blacked out.
It'll be alright, Cream.
I love this improvised line. Like, "It'll be alright, Cream. They're giving it their best out there."
Popcorn, anyone?
And I love the sassy Nicole that Ashley Kins brought. It's like, "Oh, how cute. She's worried about him. Oh." Whoa, where? It's like, IQ of 300, everybody. Like, god damn it, Tails. You're a smart person and you fell for the oldest trick in the book. The whole, "Ooh, look, what's that over there?" trick. It's like, oh my god, Tails. How dumb are you if you fall for that trick? And yeah, I have to side with Tails. She cheated. She basically cheated. She did a fake out and she didn't beat him fair and square. That was bullcrap. So I'm siding with Cream, and by the way, I did the voice of Cream the Rabbit. Yeah, a dude did the voice of Cream the Rabbit. I did the voice of Cream's whimpering that. And I did the voice of her when she said, "That's cheating." I just high pitching the voice a little more audacity so it could sound more girly or effeminate. The whole "That's cheating."
Love and war.
I love Tails' facial expression right here when he's like, "You cheated," or that face. And Honey's face where she's like, "I know just the look for you." She's trying to make it right with Tails, but Tails just don't want it because Tails is mad, is furious with her. Oh god, I love that improvised line with the two said, "Espio versus Bean." Oh boy, even the announcer know who's gonna win. It adds so much character to the, and I add this this funny little edit. Like I think like yeah, Bean's line was funny itself. I think it'll be even funnier if Espio looks triggered or offended. Like what or what did you call me? Type of look on his face, like his eyeballs bulge. Like what? I actually thought that was a really funny edit I did. I actually didn't think I was gonna pull it off good, but I actually pulled it off so that blank sound actually matches Espio. Like, some people often criticize in the comment section, you know, Jordan the Cat 11 said this in my Ways to Change Part 3 comic dub, and a few other commenters put on some criticism saying that, oh, the effects you add to your video Doomerang Theories are totally unnecessary. I mean, it distracts from the art, or it doesn't look right, or it's unnecessary, or anything like that. Like, do you have to take that extra mile step for added visual flair? Well, that's just me. I just like adding extra visual flares to my comic dub. Like, instead of just going very traditionally with my comic dubs, like just straightforward, like boom, 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 just very one note comic dub. It's just like, let me like add some ad libs, add some improvise, put more life to it, put more comedy, especially if it's a very comedic based comic dub. I mean, like, I think that pushed the comedy of the scene out more. Like, the scene was funny as is. Let's make it even funnier by adding in, and I saw that moment speak for itself. I was originally going to add a text descriptive box that says "triggered," but I decided, nah, let me let the moment speak for itself. Just that look of his eyeball, Espio's eyeball bulge, like, what? Was funny enough. And one of my favorite fights, I added that crickets chirping sound effect. Oh yeah, starting with the whole second classic Sonic and Breezy flashback. That's my half of the comic dub. Yeah, I added the crickets chirping sound effect for Bark. He's like, any last words? It's like, originally I was gonna make it dead silent, like it's cold, but I was like, come on, this comedy. I mean, this comedy has a very comedic tone to it, both in writing and visuals, thanks to Diana Skelly's artwork and Ian Flynn's writing. Yeah, I said like crickets chirping. That would be the perfect thing to push the comedy. And I added the glass shattering effects when Knuckles got thrown into the screen, Crash Bandicoot style. Wow! Oh, that's me using my Scourge voice, voicing that Jackrabbit that says, yeah, beat that Echidna! And God, the sound effects sound painful. You can faintly hear bones cracking on both Knuckles and Bard, so I really emphasize how hard they're fighting. You know, like they're like two titans colliding, how they're just going all out on each other. And I love it. He's like, what a killer punch to the jaw. And I also did the voice of Omega. We said, yes, Flavors. And I added Jason Griffith's voice clips. You know, already pre-recorded archive voice clip from, you know, Shadow the Hedgehog, the video game. Shadow's like, damn it. Like, Shadow is still salty and bitter that Knuckles kicked his ass earlier in the Total Eclipse arc where Knuckles and Shadow fought, and Shadow was hoping that Bark would put Knuckles in his place, and Shadow just saying "damn it" is actually fits. Like, he's salty that Knuckles won and advanced in the next round. And I love Tails' pouty face, like, I could have done that. I mean, I just love Rarity's fangirl's line. She makes Tails sound so pouty. I could have done that. And I also love Majin V when he's like, when his improv line, he said, I can't believe I lost in the first round. I thought it was funnier. Oh yeah, and Rarity Fangirl VA also, Rarity Fangirl 31 VA also improvised that line. He's like,
Looks like you get to fight Nux, Amy.
it's like, just shows a more sadistic and passive-aggressive and devious side to Tails. Like, Tails like, oh, let's see how you like it, Amy. I mean, did you get humiliated and knocked out of the ring like I did? It's like, come on, Tails, it's just a little red bedazzled bow tie on your neck. And at least you're still wearing mostly shoes, socks, and gloves. Oh yeah, and Nathan Pentecost ad-libbed that line for Bean. Like, from the panel, I originally was thinking that he was gonna make a thumbs like,
You did good out there, Bark. Even though you lost humiliatingly, but good job all around.
but he improvised this line. He's like, Bark, how many fingers I'm holding up? Can you tell? Haha, not a finger, it's my thumb.
Bark? Nope, still out cold.
And if you listen faintly in the background, you can hear Bart groaning, still groaning in pillar. Oh yeah, I also forgot the Majin V also did the voice of Barks. All of Bark's grunts, as Bark is a silent protagonist character. I guess you can say kind of like Big Macintosh from My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, where he mostly talks in quietly or say one word, yep, but instead of saying yep, he talks in grunts. I decided to be more bedazzling with the credits, like Webkick as Breezy, Charlie 5 as Knuckles as our 2 special guest stars. Because usually in my previous comic dubs, the credits usually just be scrolling text that scrolls up when I'm showing off the cast list. It'll soon turn into scrolling text boxes, and I just love... I purposely show the characters and their funny facial expressions for the credits. Even Honey the Cats. I mean, like... I guess I got the idea from Shrek too, I guess. Maybe. I decided to be different for once. It's like, okay, let me do the cast roll call where you see a picture of the character they voice on the right side, and on the left side it'll show the text. Like this voice actor did the voice of this character, so you can know who did which. And plus you can look in the description box below where I credit them in the description box on the original video, and I had a link to their YouTube account. Most of them. Some of them don't have YouTube accounts. And yeah, I decided to like do it this way because I thought it would like subverge expectations, and people are, I guess, long-time people that watch my comic dubs already know I always go for the scrolling text. And I was like, let me surprise them. Let me just go for this instead, like this style of the cast list roll call. Rotor like he's not interested. Sally's pragmatic face. Ooh, it's like a Shanshiro. Team Dark. Snobbish fancy lady. Jordan the Cat 11 or Jordan the Whackback Cat 11. That's Thunderbolt when she goes. She's such a squeaky little grunt. A squeaky little squit. That's what Thunderbolt is, a squeaky little squit.
You savage! You pay for this humiliation! I beg for mercy and I make
Or she's like,
you, Dr. Eggman, I do so like the way you think.
Thunderbolt basically idolizes Dr. Eggman. She's like this rabid fangirl that just worships Dr. Eggman and respects him in every single way imaginable. Oh yeah, the song for the end credits is Rise Again by Crush 40s. It's a non-Sonic Crush 40s song. I believe it came from Crush 40's album released back in 2012, where they released a few new songs. One of them is Song of Hope, one of them is Rise Again, one of them is One of Those Days, and Sonic Youth, and many others. And I think the song matches Rise Again, like showing that Sonic is rising again, and the characters will prevail and continue on. I think it displays a strong message, and it gets you amped up for what's to come in parts 3 and 4. And yes, just like parts 1 and 2, I'm going to edit parts 3 and 4 together into one whole seamless part, so I won't half-ass it. So I'm not doing it like the Waves of Change route, where I just edit Waves of Change parts 1 and 2 together into one whole seamless part, and then later I just did Waves of Change parts 3 and 4 individually in their own separate parts. But later on, I eventually edit all 4 parts of Ways of Change into one whole seamless movie. So I took Ways of Change parts 1, 2, 3, and 4, and just, it's also on my channel. Alright, it's called Sonic the Hedgehog the Movie Waves. Sonic the Hedgehog the Movie Ways of Change. DX Director's Cut. Yeah, the Director's Cut version, it's basically a re-edited version of Ways of Change parts 1 and 2. This time with the same editing quality as parts 3 and 4, but yeah. The video's over already, but there's a post-credit scene that teases what my next comic dub is going to be, or comic drama. Let's see what it is! It's The Adventures of Sly Cooper, issue number 2, next comic drama. Yeah, that's going to be my next comic drama, Sly Cooper. Originally, for the ending, I was going to add one little gag. After that, it's just this 10 seconds of silence, and then you hear Larry from Smells of Pretty Patties. But I decided, nah, that's unnecessary. I'm stupid. It's so random. As at this point, who's gonna watch the video all the way to the very end till the black screen fades out? It's like till the video ends and the replay button shows up. It's like, and yeah. Well, people, I guess that's it. I'll see you in the next one, and hopefully I'll be able to make Champions Parts 3 and 4 next time. So, see you soon. You guys take care, and have a fantastic night. Doomerang 3, Audi 5000.
Chain chomp, yup!